Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be reviewing the new Charlotte Tilbury Glow Glide Face Architect Highlighter. So before we get into it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get into it. Okay, so this is the new Hollywood Glow Glide Face Architect Highlighter. There is so many words here, and like a lot of her products, there is so many different claims. This is supposed to have light flex technology and smoothing emollients to illuminate and blur the skin like Hollywood lights. So we'll see about that. So this is supposed to brighten, lift, and sculpt the look of your skin without creasing, caking, or settling into fine lines for a confidence-boosting glow. This is available in 6 different shades and retails for $48 US or 62 Canadian. So very, very pricey. This is made in Italy and has a 24-month shelf life. And you can see from the front of the box, this is very much kind of giving you a guide to all the places that you can use this. So opening up the package, this is what it looks like. So it does have the kind of star detailing like the Star Aura Quad, her Hollywood Flawless Filter Eye Quads that she released, I think, 2 years ago. And this compact is the same size as the Flawless Finish Powder. They're the same size, but the Flawless Finish Powder comes with 0.28 ounces, and this one is 0.24, so you do get less product and it is more. However, it is just a different product. And I'm also seeing on the back here that it looks like you can pop this out, so I'm wondering if it's going to be refillable like her other products. So I picked up the lightest shade, which is Moonlight Glow, and this is what it looks like. Looks very, very pretty. I love the star embossment. So let's get to trying this out. I'm gonna let you guys know if I think it's worth $48, and then I'm going to compare this to the other Charlotte Tilbury highlighters in my collection to give you kind of an overview. One thing I'm noticing is I could hear this kind of rattling, and when I try to swatch it, it starts spinning like crazy in the pan, so I don't love that it's not overly secure. This is a swatch of the highlight. It does look very pretty. Very reflective. It is a little bit glittery, but I think it's a very soft kind of a glitter. So I'm just going to take my usual highlighter brush, just going to go into it right here, and I'm going to start with my cheekbones. Ooh. Okay, that's very pretty. I hope you can see that on camera because I do think that is really, really pretty. So it's definitely a pretty bright highlight. Let me see if I can build it up. Yes, okay, so this is one that's going to be able to build quite a bit as well. So if you like a really blinding highlight, I typically would not build it this much, but I just wanted to show you how much it can be built. It does seem very smooth, and I don't think it's emphasizing texture from what I can see on my skin right now. I really do like this shade. This is definitely a good choice for me. So on this side, definitely more subtle, more everyday, and this side we've got it very shiny. So you can definitely downplay it, but you can also make it a very shiny highlight if that's your preference. So I'm just gonna make the match here. I am going to try a little bit on the brow bone. And it looks very pretty there as well. I typically do a brow bone highlight and an inner corner highlight, so let's also do the inner corner highlight. Very pretty as an inner corner highlight. This is a great highlight shade for me personally. This is really pretty. Okay, I really do like this. I like how this looks. I don't like my nose, so I don't like to enhance it. So I really don't want to draw attention to it, but I am going to take a little bit on that Cupid's bow as well. Okay, so I really like the way this looks. I think it's very, very pretty. Yeah, I really can't stand how this spins so easily. Like, it just seems really loose. I feel like it's gonna fall out. Let's get into comparisons. So the first highlight I want to compare it to is the one from the Film Star Bronze and Glow. I don't have that duo, but I do have it in a face palette here. So this is the same one that would be in the Bronze and Glow duo. So I have them swatched here. This is the new Face Architect, and this is the one from the Film Star Bronze and Glow. So this one is definitely coming off as more champagne, but also much, much more subtle, and definitely less, I would say, less glittery and just far more subtle in general. Next, I wanted to compare with the highlighters in the Pillow Talk face palette So I did both the champagne and the pink. I know the shades were not going to be similar, but I wanted to try them out for formula. So the ones that are in the face palette are more of a baked formula, but they have that same very bright highlight finish to them. I still think the new Face Architect is brighter, but these two are also very, very pretty. The top shade in the face palette is definitely more champagne. The bottom is definitely pink. So one is a powder. These two are baked and the shades are different. So they really weren't too similar either. So next I went into the Hollywood Superstar Glow Highlighter. It is now occurring to me that I have a ridiculous amount of Charlotte Tilbury highlights. That's a problem for later. But I did want to compare it to this one because this was a really good one. The Superstar Glow is on the bottom, and this is another one that leans more pink champagne. So while I do like the color of this one more, very similar in finish, both can be built up to be quite blinding. I think this one might honestly have a little bit less glitter and sheen to it. This one does not enhance texture. It's very, very flattering. So if you have this one and the shade works really well for you, I really don't think you need this one. This was limited edition. I don't think you can get it anymore. It's just that if you already have this, I'm thinking you probably don't need this one, just because they do seem quite similar. Aside from the shades, they're similar. If you're looking for a different shade, like Moonlit Glow is a beautiful, beautiful shade. But if you're looking for the shade, then the new one might be best. But while the shades are different, the finish and formula are very, very similar. And finally, I wanted to compare it to the Pillow Talk Multi Glow Highlight. This one came out in early 2022, and this one is in the shade Romance Light. So this one obviously has 4 different shades in it, but for the sake of trying to shade match a little bit and also just testing the formula, I just went into the white shade. And I think this is very similar. The white shade in here is definitely more icy, more blinding. I like that this one can be customized with the different pinks in here. The formula is very similar. The finish is very similar. So I think that's interesting as well. I think this one is also a little bit less money than the new one. So while I don't have shade for shade matches within the Charlotte Tilbury, I will say the very closest ones I found were the Hollywood Superstar Glow Highlight. Very similar formula, very similar finish, very similar effect on the skin. The main difference is the shade. I do have the lightest shade in the new highlight, but if you were eyeing up a shade that's similar to this and you already have this, I don't think you need the new one by any means. If you're looking at the maybe Pillow Talk shade or Moonlit Glow, just along the lighter spectrum, I do think if you have this one, you don't need the new one. So this one is just customizable. You do kind of get 4 individual shades, or you can get one if you want. I often stick between these 2 lighter ones right here. They're just the most flattering on my skin tone. The finish and the final effect is very similar. So I don't think this really compares to the highlight that is in the Film Star Bronze and Glow. I don't think it compares to the ones that are in the Pillow Talk face palette. It's most similar to the Superstar Glow, and I think can be compared to this. It is hard because I don't have shade for shade matches. That's the only thing that makes this hard. I do think this is a really, really pretty highlight. I think it's beautiful. I think the packaging is beautiful, and I think the embossment itself is beautiful. The highlight looks so good on my skin. I feel so good in this. I don't think you need it, especially if you have 2 that I previously mentioned. But if you don't have a lot of Charlotte Tilbury highlighters and you're looking to splurge on a powder highlight, then I think you'd really like this one. It's definitely very flattering on the skin. It's not emphasizing texture. It's not too glittery. I like that you have the option to go very subtle or go very blinding. I love to have those options. So I do think this is a really good quality highlight. I think it's beautiful. I'm definitely going to get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I will say I don't think you need it. I do think highlighters are going to see a bit of a resurgence this year, but I don't think you need it, especially if you have some of the others that I mentioned. But again, if you love Charlotte Tilbury and you're looking to pick up a powder highlight, I don't think you'd be disappointed with this. Obviously, the price point is real steep, and I do not like how this spins here. It just makes me feel like it's gonna break. But other than that, I really do like this, and I really do think it's pretty. So I am gonna get a lot of enjoyment out of this, which makes me happy because, again, She wasn't cheap. Absolutely think it's excellent. I think you love it. If you're in the market for a highlight and you can afford to go for the Charlotte Tilbury highlight, go for it. I think you'll really, really like it. I love it and I can't wait to continue playing with it. Let me know down below if you are planning to pick this one up, or if you already did, let me know your thoughts. I love hearing from you guys. Thank you so very much for watching. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!